Okay guys, welcome back to New Dram Drinker. We have another pouring it, drinking it and enjoying it with friends video, and this time it is Nicola's turn and she's going to tell you who the guest is, and then we're going to play the little video to show you what whiskey it is they have chosen.
Hello, so today's whiskey has been chosen by the Whiskey Novice Jim. If you're around on YouTube, you will have seen him. He's been around probably not quite as long as us, but not far off. His videos are great. He does really good review videos. He's quite big in the community now. Most people know him. He has guests on to do his intros. He doesn't live that far from us. It's, you know, it's not like round the corner, but it's not too far. So I'm sure at some point we will meet up. He's invited us over. So I'm quite excited to see what he's chosen. Well, obviously I know what he's chosen, duh. But to see what the whiskey's like that he's chosen. So are you ready? Do you want to know what the whiskey is? Go on then. So as you saw there, today we are sampling Writer's Tears Redhead Single Malt. We don't have a bottle of this, so Jim sent us a sample. From the last video, you might remember that Anta said we want to start talking about the bottles themselves, because obviously, you know, we like our bar to be aesthetically pleasing. And this is a really lovely bottle. It's like white and red. It's got the red top. Oh, I meant to ask you, is that what it's called, Redhead? I meant to ask that before the video and I forgot.
Yeah, we thought this, didn't we? It's actually, if you look on the website, the actual colour of it is rich ruby red, and it's because of the hand-picked Spanish sherry butts, and then it was put into Oloroso casks after that, which gives it that kind of red hue, they reckon. So I think that's where it's getting its kind of name from. I mean, looking at it, it doesn't look very red to me in the glass, but obviously it's the kind of the selling point that they've picked. So we do like the bottle, don't we? We look very, I'd like one up on the bar because it's a little bit different, white and red. You don't see that very often on a whiskey bottle.
Quite a modern looking one, isn't it?
Yeah, I would definitely buy a bottle. Oh, depends if you like it or not, to be honest. I haven't tried it, so I'd say from the look of the bottle, aesthetically on the bar, it would fit. So
I have a little confession to make as well. Normally I try this previously and I sit with it for a bit of a week. This is the last 2 weeks of term. They are the busiest in my calendar. I have not been drinking whiskey this week. If it's fair to say, I've been falling asleep on the sofa by 8:30. So I'm going in cold, guys. I haven't tried it, I haven't sampled it. I don't know, but it'll be fine. We'll wing it. I think I've had a Writer's Tears before. I vaguely remember.
Our son-in-law.
A long time ago. I think it was really early on when I was starting, and maybe I was drinking a lot of Irish. But I genuinely, it definitely wasn't a Redhead. Yeah. But I cannot remember for the life of me what it was like.
Well, he likes it because his second name is Walsh, so he's kind of adopted it as his name.
Because it's from the Walsh distillery, isn't it?
So that's why he likes it. Yeah. I can't remember what we thought of it.
I cannot remember at all.
Which makes me think it may have just been a bit one of those standard one. I'm not too sure. I don't have any memories.
Some Irish are just
didn't make me think I need to buy one, so I'll be interested to see what you think of this. Okay, so let's go in on the colour.
So colour, I would say it's like that deep golden sunset. So I kind of get what they're saying about red. It's not red.
No, not like
I've had
lipstick.
redder. No. Yeah. But yeah, deep golden. It's like that amber gold.
Yeah. Okay. Jim says that it's certainly not the ruby red that the label suggests. Exactly what we just said. Using Charlie McLean's guide, I'd say it's more of an Australian muscat hue. So he agrees with us on that it's not exactly the red. But
it's quite a rich colour.
I don't know what I'd think if a whiskey came out of the bottle red. It'd have to be, I'd expect it to be really kind of a sherry.
Yeah. And you've kind of given away that it was sherry, so I'm expecting sherry things. But I've just had a little sneaky nose.
Go for it.
I think I'd know it was sherry.
Yeah.
But it's not as sweet as I thought it would be. And my experiences of Irish are that they're usually quite sweet and quite mellow and quite easygoing. I'm going to say that I definitely am getting some sherry tones, but they're more like the buttery toffee, not like caramel, deep red fruits or anything like that. I would say I'm getting sultanas, almost like granola. You know, like the buttery kind of granola with the raisins and maybe, yeah, there is sweet, but it's not as fruity as I thought it would be.
Okay.
And I thought it'd be really, you know, Irish whiskey tends to be quite sweet.
We kind of always have an idea of what an Irish whiskey is going to be like.
I don't think I'd nose that as Irish. I don't think I'd know.
We haven't had one that's kind of changed our opinion on that yet, have we? So this may be that first one that does that. So you would say it's not nosing Irish?
Yeah, it's just not what I expected.
Okay. Do you want me to give you Jim's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he says tobacco leaf, green apple, citrus. These three notes are to be expected as this is most likely a sourced Bushmills single malt. Certainly green apple and citrus notes are big components of Bushmills products. Lots of typical sherry cask finish notes. Creamy, buttery, which is what you said, dried fruit, which is the granola again, orange peel and fruit cake. I also thought it had a powdery sweetness like icing sugar and leather.
See, I'm not getting enough fruit that makes me think Christmas cake and that kind of thing. Maybe because it's a sample. Yeah. You know, we only obviously had a small amount. I'm interested in the what did he say at the beginning? Apple and citrus.
He said apple and citrus. Yeah, green apple, citrus, tobacco leaf. You seem to be getting more of the cereal kind of side, or the fruity cereal
and butter. It was like a buttery.
Yeah, you said butter, so he echoed you on that.
Maybe citrus.
Does it nose nice? I suppose. At the end
it's alright actually. Yeah, it does.
Does it make you want to drink it?
Always.
Okay, so let's go in on the palate then and see if it's see if it's Irish.
It's not an easy-going whiskey.
Okay.
I'm going to say there's a tang there. It didn't make me pull a face, but it didn't make me go, that's yummy. I would say the sherry notes come through. There definitely is like a deep fruit. And this is going to sound... So it's not peated or smoky at all, but I definitely feel like I've got ash.
Right.
Like there's an ash taste in my mouth.
Do you think you're getting the cigar that he said he got off on the nose?
Yeah, could be.
In the palate?
Yeah.
That's happened. We've said this many times before. People's notes seem to go through onto the palate.
It's like, you know, there's an ashtray.
Yeah.
That's kind of,
Cool. Do you like it? Is it like a good? Because that in some ways could be a good note for you because it's not peat, but it's not smoke. It's kind of
no, I don't know about that. There is a real sherry going on. I feel like there's almost like a battle going on.
Okay.
There's the ash that's... It's not as pleasant as peat. You know when you have peat? I can say that now. But sometimes when you have peat, you get that like smoky, bonfire-y type ash, and there's always that, It's not like that at all. It is like ashtray. Yeah. So it doesn't taste... That bit of it is not pleasant. But then there's this huge other battle, which I'm thinking is the sherry. So I definitely am getting like the deep fruits. It's not as sweet as, you know, when you have some sherry cask finishes and you feel like you're chewing a mouthful of sultanas and you get that lovely juicy sweetness. It's not like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it like a whiskey of two halves? It's kind of...
Yeah, and I feel like they're battling. It doesn't feel... Ooh, this is balanced and lovely. I feel like there's a battle going on. They're both quite prominent flavours, if you know what I mean.
Is that negative then, would you say? Is it
I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to decipher it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going, I don't dislike it, and I almost feel like I need to sit with it a little bit.
I suppose the biggest question is was it designed to be like that, or is it just a bad... like a bad blend as such? It just doesn't sit together and doesn't kind of...
It feels hefty. Yeah. Like a heftier whiskey, as in... You know, and this is just my experiences of Irish before. And, you know, even I've had Redbreast Stow, which has been beautiful in sherry. This feels hefty. like there's a big punch of flavour. I'm not saying it's sweet and easy, but actually it's a bit of a monster. Tell me what Jim gets, and let's see if I can get anything else.
So Jim says rich and peppery, which is kind of close to what you're saying. Some red wine or port notes.
Maybe it's the port.
Walnut, cinnamon, and oak spice. And this is the bit I'm interested in. I want you to try it again when I say this. Almost a bourbon feel at times. Because that.
And I could see
you always
that.
kind of say that bourbon is a kind of note that you could probably pick out, but I'd be interested.
Do you know what? Now he's said that, I'm almost thinking. I think my brain was going sherry. This will be sweet, and this will be red fruits, and this will be lovely. And it's not, but it's nearly. I'm thinking that's what it is. It's the bourbon, because bourbon isn't. If I have a neat bourbon, they're not sweet and lovely and easy to drink. They are quite powerful in flavours. The pepper, I'm definitely getting like the little tingle, but I'd say it's more white pepper. It's not like a punchy pepper. I don't know about spicy. Oak, maybe a little bit, but maybe that's the bourbon note feeding in.
Is the bourbon note stronger than the Irish note, would you say? Or
yes, I would, yeah. I think like there's two sides to this. Maybe it's the bourbon note and the ash. Yeah. That's what I'm getting.
Would you, if I'd gone, what's that? Would you have even got close to saying it was an Irish?
No, never in a million years.
No.
No, not the Irish that I've drunk recently. I'm thinking green spot, yellow spot, those kind of things.
I'm presuming this is a different beast to the one we tried before, because we'd have thought the same then, wouldn't we, as what we're saying now, and we didn't.
I can't think of a whiskey. Usually whiskies to me are like, oh, and there's this, and then you get this, and then you get this. This to me feels like two completely different whiskies, maybe two halves of whiskies that are in the same glass, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I'm not going to say it's not balanced, but my impression of balanced is when it's like, oh, they're all just mingling and it's all working and it's all, this doesn't feel like this feels like I'm getting this, or I'm getting this. The more I think about it, it's like I can pick this out and I can pick this out.
Cool. Okay, let's go on to the finish and see what you get from that.
I'm going to say on the finish, I definitely get the oak.
Okay.
It's slightly more drying, and you get a slight more like the peppery tingle. Yeah. It's white pepper. It's not like really harsh, but that little pepper tingle. Not spices. I'm not getting cinnamon or anything that Jim said, but I think it's oak for me. Okay. And it's slightly drying, but not very.
Bourbon note still hanging around.
Yeah, it is. It's the tang, that little tang. Yeah. I would say less of the ashy type taste. It's quite a medium finish. Right. I can still taste it. It's still there, but it's more the pepper tingle. Yeah. I'd say less flavour. Right, it's more the feeling in my mouth, if that makes sense. Yeah,
I can understand that. Okay, Jim said long and spicy on the finish, quite dry. Some eau de cologne.
Ooh.
And a slight mustiness right at the end.
Mustiness.
Sounds like me at the end of a good night.
I'm definitely not getting eau de cologne in any way, shape or form. But I don't think I've ever.
A bit of brute
I've had
on the end.
Floral soap at one point, but not mustiness. I don't know if I could pick a mustiness. I think it'd have to be really prominent on the palate, like if I'm thinking musty and dusty barns or something.
I think I've had mustiness in the past, but it's not something I pick up regular. No. It's kind of a strange note, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's more the wood note for me. There is an oak, the oak, and the dryingness at the end. Yeah. Yeah. So that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I don't know how to sum it up.
No. I was going to say, your conclusion, what's your overall...
I almost feel like if we'd got a bottle of this, I probably would pour myself another dram and sit with it longer. Yeah. Maybe that's one of the benefits of sitting with it longer, because I could have said, first I got this, but then when I drank it again, obviously I can't do that. I didn't have time. I was fast asleep all week, and we only had one sample. I don't hate it. It's not awful. I think it just maybe my preconception maybe affected my judgment. I thought I knew what it was going to be like, and actually it wasn't. It didn't blow me away. but it's interesting. That's what I'm going to say.
Cool. Okay, so Jim, he put conclusion. I do like this whiskey and would recommend it, although the more I know and learn and taste, the more whiskies like this tend to lose their shine a bit for me.
Yeah.
The Irish whiskey industry is still in a state of flux at the moment. Although there are distilleries popping up every 10 minutes, we're still drinking the same 3 whiskies we have been for years. All these new distilleries are opening and sourcing barrels from Bushmills, Cooley and Middleton. They finish them to their desired effect, brand them and put them out as their own. Can't fault them for it, but it makes it very hard to be subjective when you're just tasting a slightly different version of someone else's whiskey.
Yeah.
The ice cream man is back. We need to stop doing these videos at this time of the night. Let him finish. Okay. Oh, there we go. Let's get back in. I can't remember where I got to now. Can't fault them for it, but it makes it very hard to be subjective when you're just tasting a slightly different version of someone else's whiskey. The next 5 to 10 years will tell the tale when the new distillery's own products have come of age and they start bottling it. I'd wager that these tasting notes will be a whole lot different. And that is pretty much it. Apart from at the end, he apologises for his little rant. But that's what it's for. That's
I could see what he's saying. Yeah, it's it doesn't stand out enough. It's different from maybe some of the other Irish that I've had, but I would agree in the sense that the more whiskies we try, I probably wouldn't naturally go to that. I wouldn't. I at this moment in time, I couldn't see myself going, "Ooh, let's have a writer's tears." Yeah. I couldn't. Yeah, I'm just being completely honest. It's not. I've got nicer whiskies that I would savour and enjoy. Yeah. So it's not awful, but.
It's just another whiskey on the journey, isn't it? You've got to experience them. Anything else you would like to say?
I have actually. I'd like to say it's a bit of a plug, really. So recently we had our Somerton Club bottle come, which was the single cask. And because we enjoyed this so much, we went on the website to see if there was any other whiskies similar, or if they got anything interesting. And we found that they've got a bottle that they are selling, where some of the proceeds go towards supporting the NHS. So we've bought a bottle, and we just wanted to say, if you wanted to support your NHS, in that kind of way, maybe look at the bottle, and we'll put all the details. So
it's not that bottle. It's not a special bottle. But I think the price of it, I think it's £49.
Yeah.
So that's a cracking price for a single cask.
And we feel like we're doing our little bit as well.
Yeah, so, it's nice to help out, isn't it?
It is good, yeah.
Cool, excellent.
Yeah. So,
and I've got some left.
A tiny little bit left, yay! So, on this balmy Sunday evening, it's very hot in the UK today, hence the bun, because it is just so warm and hot in the UK today. I'm going to say, enjoy the rest of your evening, or whenever you're watching this. I hope the sun is still shining. And remember, pour it, drink it, enjoy it.
Cheers, guys. I'm getting an ice cream.